Alright, Kenneth Okonkwo has reacted differently to the wave of defections from other political parties to APC. He has called those people defecting as people who does not have level and does not really have a stand. Well, according to him, he has rejected and he has sworn that nothing will ever make him to join or defect to APC because APC has failed the nation. Not just the nation, they has failed as leaders, they has failed as a political party, they has failed in their promises and everything. So him in his word has sworn that he will never join. I'd like you to take your time and watch this video to the end. Listen to what Kenneth Okonkwo said here. In fact, you will enjoy listening to him. I'll be right back. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you're not following us, do well to subscribe. God bless you.
Let's start with some clarification. You were very active in the Labour Party. You were there in the court, all the way to the Supreme Court, defending Mr. Peter Obi and the Labour Party. But you switched. In some of your recent comments, you have been saying, well, nobody can remove President Tinubu except they have a coalition. Sometimes I was confused. I thought, okay, maybe Kenneth Okonkwo is now in the APC. Let us clarify where you belong to right now. Are you in the APC? We know you have left Labour Party, or you are on your way to the APC, which seems to be the trend, because you have said no single candidate can remove President Tinubu. So my assumption is that very soon we hear that you are also firmly in the APC. This is the season of defections. What do you think about this current up and down in Nigerian politics?
Well, first and foremost, I do not join a party, or let me say, I do not leave a party because of another party. So I leave a party because of the party itself. And when I want to join another party, it's because of that party, not because I'm looking for anything. When I resigned from APC, I made it clear that I cannot follow a president who is insensitive to our spirit of diversity. He chose a fellow Muslim to give us same-faith ticket. Has that changed? I made it clear that Nigeria being a diverse nation, anybody that will not respect our religious diversity will not respect our ethnic diversity. Have I not been proved right? If APC wants me to join APC, these are my conditions. They promised Nigeria that 1 naira should be $1. Have they done that? When they do it, let them come calling, and I will consider them. Nigeria is a diverse nation where the presidency is an association between the president and the vice. And the Nigerian constitution is very clear that every association must cut across religious and ethnic barriers. So any president that is choosing a man of same-faith ticket and then choosing only the people from his own people or the people he perceives are his own people to be in governance is a president that unapologetically behaves in a very unconstitutional manner. He has no respect for rule of law. And Aristotle made it clear that rule of law will always be preferable to rule of an individual. Appetite for material things and other self-centered desires perverts holders of office. Apart from sapping our energy, draining our life and enthusiasm, there is nothing else that this government has achieved for Nigeria. And then contemplating that me, that entered politics for the welfare of the people, shall join an APC that is insensitive to the people's welfare, that has punished Nigerians with hunger and hardship. The World Bank report now said that Nigeria will sink further into poverty till 2027. That in Tinubu's regime, there is no hope for recovery from poverty. And they gave their reasons: structural economic weaknesses, dependence on oil revenue, national fragility. In other words, national conflicts. Look at what's happening in Plateau State. More than 100 persons have died, massacred by unknown people. And the president was in Paris and could not even cut his travel short to commiserate with people from Plateau State. Look at what's happening in Rivers State. A president declared martial law and removed constitutionally elected representatives of the people. And look at what's happening in Benue State. People dying. All the things this president has given Nigeria is tears and blood. And you want to say Kenneth Okonkwo will contemplate going into such an association? I tell you what Dove said, man, said. He said toxic leaders are energy vampires, draining life and enthusiasm out of the people they lead. You want my life and enthusiasm to be drained? No. I reject APC as presently constituted, as a party that does not live up to its promise, as a party that has inflicted Nigeria with hunger and hardship, as a party that does not recognize our diversity, as a party that has given us nothing except tears and blood. A land that God created to flow with oil, with wealth, with gold, is now flowing with tears and blood. Count me out of that unholy association. For now, I am a member of the coalition. And we are moving in that direction to solidify the unity amongst all the opposition forces to take out this government that, according to Senator Ndume, is a government of kakistocrats and kleptocrats, the government of worst of us, and the government of desperate thieves. According to Aristotle, he said when man is separated from law and justice, he becomes the worst of animals. And Plato made it clear that man separated from law is the most savage beast. We have been reintroduced to the state of nature by this government, where life, according to Thomas Hobbes, has become solitary, nasty, brutish, poor, and of course short.
Okay,
that is what we're suffering in this country.
Okay. We appreciate, I love the philosophy and almost spoken word that you're giving us this morning. Very, very inspirational indeed. I love that you've mentioned this coalition, because what I wanted to ask you initially is that the writing on the wall seems to appear that there is a north and south divide. And it's seeming like this grand coalition that is being marketed for the moment, the body language reads towards the north. So are you saying that you're behind a potential movement that will push forward a northern candidate if that's what it will take to defeat the incumbent?
Well, 2023, I was consumed with the fact that there was an agreement between North and South that the North should have power for 8 years, the South should have power for 8 years. And I ran under that canopy. And then we produced a Southern president. However that came. In 2027, it is a different ball game because we are now in the half of the match. If you say you want to bring another Southerner who is not Tinubu to come in, the North will say he's going to spend 8 years. And then that will still breach the agreement. And now that Tinubu is incomparably bad, would you say you give him another 4 years? That we will continue to sink, according to World Bank report, into further poverty and misery? Now, if you get a Northerner who will commence a rule in the middle of the game, would you say that if he spends 8 years, it has not become injustice? It will. Now, if you are in a coalition democratically, how do you choose somebody that will be acceptable by all his colleagues? These are very tough issues. And what I have decided is that, look, there is 4 more years that is remaining. Because we may not be able to choose anybody by selection and make the person to have the buy-in of all the other contestants, let there be an open primary election between North and South in a coalition. Whoever wins should agree to do 4 years to compensate for the injustice that will be meted out to any section. If another Southerner who is not Tinubu wins, he must say that he will do 4 more years to complete Tinubu's regime. If a Northerner wins, then let him do 4 years so that it will return back to the South. Because that is the only way that we may be able to stop this government that has become incurably bad. According to John Locke, when a government becomes destructive of the fundamental human rights of the people, they have the right in a social contract to alter the government, to change it or abolish it altogether. This government needs to be changed, and you have to give in something in order to get something. So basically, that is the only justice of the situation that I have seen. Where did I learn this from? I learned it from Tinubu himself. In 2015, Tinubu sided with the Northerners against Ruben Abati's principle. And the South-South, they were pleading, let them complete their term. But Tinubu, out of self-preservation, out of the below-con philosophy, he said no. He aligned with the North and chose one of his own to be the vice president. He preferred the power going back to the North rather than remaining in the South, so that it will pave way for him in the next 8 years to become president. And that is why he's president today, because of that strategy. So in between the game, and when the incumbent is found wanting, the only way to move forward is by this method that I have enunciated.
Well, I'm enjoying myself. I mean, listening to you is like I'm back in one of these classes that I took many years ago, Philosophical Problems and Analysis, where we talked about Plato, Aristotle, Jeremy Bentham, John Locke, and all the philosophers. I'm enjoying myself. But let me ask you a question. This coalition that you say you have joined, do you think that the coalition, as presently proposed, can take Tinubu out of power in 2027?